Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agorapulse. Discussing this week's hottest topics and latest developments in social media marketing. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for the first Social Pulse Weekly live show of 2021. Thank you so much for being here, and I have to give a special shout out to our show sponsor, Amy Aram. Amy is absolutely amazing, and she is an incredible person. If you don't know her, you need to know her because she is absolutely fabulous. Follow her at Aram Amy on Twitter. And with that said, I want to get right into how amazing this show is going to be because we have Deborah Eckerling in the house. I'm actually going to pop her on screen right now so we can just be like, woo, a quick shout out to Deb. Now, as all of you know, and I want to give actually a big welcome to so many new members of Social Pulse community and fans that have followed us on our social accounts. We're so excited you're here. And this is a two-way conversation. So I'm going to ask Deb some questions, but if you have questions for Deb, you can ask them as well. So we want to make sure that your goals are set and you have a plan and a strategy to accomplish them in 2021. With that said, I want to geek out a little bit about Deb and, and I'm going to pull her full on screen and talk about how amazing she is really quick. So yeah, Deb, this is all for you, Deb. So Deb Eckerling, if you don't know her, she's the goal-setting expert and author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and the founder of the Deb Method, which she is going to talk to us about today and walk through with us. Deborah helps individuals and businesses figure out what they want and how to get it through one-on-one coaching workshops and online support. She is also the founder of Right On Online, as well as the host of the Gold Chat Twitter chat and the Gold Chat Live on Facebook. You can learn more about Deb at thedebmethod.com, which we will be sharing that link in the comments. And you can get your copy of her latest book at yourgoalguidebook.com or at your favorite bookstore. And I will actually be sharing links for that as well. So Deb, don't worry, I'm coming right back on screen. So
I love that you dressed to match my book cover. So thank you.
Yeah, I was going for that. I actually planned on that. That's exactly what I was going for. And sure. I want to give a super quick shout out to everyone that's in the house right now. We've got Mike Alton, Juan Santiago. Juan, how are you doing? And hopefully everyone had amazing holidays. I know it wasn't the typical holiday season, and that is okay, but hopefully you stayed safe. You were able to enjoy some holiday cheer and maybe even see some family in a safe way. And again, super amazing shout out to Amy Aram. And if you don't know about her, I'm going to do just a quick little bit about Amy. She created Capitalized Social Media after starting a coupon and deal blog, which happened soon after quitting her 14-year corporate career to be a stay-at-home mom. Now, instead of motivating high-performing sales teams to reach their revenue and career goals, she motivates life and business coaches to gain visibility and connect with their ideal clients so they can reach their revenue and business goals. So, Amy, you are awesome. If you don't follow her, you need to do it. We've got Deb Mitchell in the house, our community manager. We've got Dana Bentz. Dana, so excited that you're here. Welcome. Justin Hornback, how are you doing? How are the holidays? We've got Lorksy too, Lori, so excited that you're here. And let's get right to it, Deb, because we only have limited time. First of all, give us a quick kind of background of where you got to where you are today, how you got to where you are today, what motivated you to write this book, and what are your plans for the future?
Wow, those are a lot of questions. Let me see, and we only have an hour, so let's go with the short version. My journey, I've always been a writer, and I did events for Barnes & Noble back when I lived in Chicago, and one day someone came in and said, "Hey, Deb, will you start a writer support group?" And I said, "Sure. If you think people will come, I'm happy to try it out." And to me, a support group meant goal setting and accountability. What did you work on? What did you achieve? What are you working on for next time? And let's cheer each other on. And who knew it would lead me down this path, but it's just a really good example of embracing things that are presented to you and seeing where it goes. And we're going to talk about mission and motto later. But so fast forward, moved to LA, restarted the group. People started asking me to talk about goal setting, to appear at conferences, to coach them. And that really, my career evolved from there. And then my business background is project management and communications. So everything really ties in together. So that's what started me on the path. And then almost 3 years ago, my primary is I do coaching, communications work, seminars. My primary my primary communications client was going away. And I took it as a sign that it was time to fully step into what I was meant to do, which is to help as many people as possible figure out what they want and how to get it. So luckily, my name and my system that I've been doing for years worked really well together. We'll talk about the DEB method too. And so it's almost exactly 3 years ago that I fully stepped into me, created the DEB method, met an agent. He said, hey, I was planning to self-publish, and he said, let me try and get it out in the world. Mango, my publisher, reached out the end of 2018, and in 1 week, it'll be a year since Your Goal Guide came out. So that's really how I got this expertise and how I got here. And can I tell you how blessed I am that I created something that helps so many people, especially during this crazy time. I mean, we have control over nothing except for ourselves and the plans that we make and the vision we create for ourselves. So the fact that my book came out 2 months before the world changed and everybody had to reconfigure their plans for life, pretty much, it's just such a blessing that I can help even more people than I imagined. So there you go.
And Deb, I think you're an inspiration to so many, just like you said. And Deb Mitchell, our community manager, has shared the direct link to Amazon to purchase the book. And if you haven't left a review yet for Deborah Eckerling and her book, make sure to do that. Share the love, because I think this year's all about continuing to share the love and supporting each other, because we're stronger together as a team. So if you haven't done so, do that. Amy, I love the fact that you've paged Tim and Stefan. If there are some people that you think that could benefit from figuring out how to set intentional goals, not just vague goals, but Deb is going to walk through, okay, what do you really want and how can we accomplish that? Setting goals is setting goals, but you need a roadmap. You need to figure out how exactly, step by step, are you going to achieve them. So if you think that somebody can benefit from it, definitely let us know, ping them here as well. And with that said, I want to know, what are everyone's goals for 2021, or at least name one. What is one goal that you have either for you personally or for your career in 2021? With that said, so Deb, I think a lot of people, they set goals, they have really good intentions, they struggle to follow up on their goals. They at the new year, they're just like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and they don't follow through. But first of all, setting a goal, also people can make mistakes with that. So what are the biggest mistakes that people make when they actually figure out what goals they want?
Well, you actually kind of said it backwards. The biggest mistake people make is they don't figure out what they want. They underthink, they overthink, they do not plan. They're very, and I don't want to say short-sighted because that sounds negative, but when you're going to do the planning for your future, it starts with you making the decision. Okay, this is the life I have now, and maybe it's great, and maybe it's somewhere in between. But goal setting starts with that decision to choose yourself. I want to make a change, or change is thrust upon you, and then you embrace that change. So that's really the biggest mistake, is not just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. And yes, sometimes you have to do that. But if you want to be successful in setting and achieving your goals, it starts with that decision to choose yourself.
And that's true. And people, I think, can get so overwhelmed with everything that's going on with the world. It's been a crazy week here. If you're living in the US where we are, it hasn't been normal. But you got to maintain that focus and know that nothing ever stays the same, right? The only constant is change in the world and in social media and everything. And Justin Hormack said, not figuring out what you want. So true. I think that can be such a big struggle for everyone. And Amy said they don't plan. Having a goal is one thing. Actually taking steps towards the goal is absolutely another. And so, yes, it's one of those things where I think you need to actually set time and actually talk to my significant other yesterday. I was like, I need to really focus on some of my big personal goals I have and even some of my career goals and just like completely figure out exactly what I want, like imagine this year to look like and to be. So with that said, Deb, walk us through the first part of the Deb method. So when you do your one-on-one coaching and you're like, okay, you're breaking down everything this one person needs to do, what is the first thing you ask them to do?
Well, in the D is determine your mission. And I alluded to it a little bit just now. And the first half of my book walks you through the Deb method in detail, gives you exercises and examples. So I'm going to go through it really fast today. But if you want, and like you said before, I coach, I lead workshops, but it really starts with the what do you want? And the first step of what do you want starts with visualization. When you close your eyes and think of the life you want, what does that look like? Yes, we've been through changes, ridiculous changes the past year. And that does not mean that you can't accomplish or achieve Goaltopia. That's what I call it when you're living your goals and having that ideal life. It just might look a little bit different. So if you are an expert in Goaltopia is speaking to packed stages, not realistic, but packed Zoom calls, packed virtual audiences, that is still very much within your power to create for yourself. So it starts with that visualization. And the way I break it down in the book is I talk about the 4 goal paths. So it's what do you want? A new job or career, start or build a business, become a known expert, or work-life balance. And yes, I managed to lob everything possible into one of those 4 categories. So think about it. And it might be more than one of those things, but really whatever your form of meditation is, close your eyes, think up, what is that life? What is my perfect world? It really starts with that. And then if you want like a little extra incentive, make some form of visual representation of it. So if your goal is to be number 1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, print out a copy, take a paper, scratch out number 1 and put your name up there and look at that all the time. If you want to be the number 1 go-to anything, find the Forbes list that says that and put yourself right up there. So whatever that means for you, if you want this work-life balance, take a picture of your happy family or a happy family moment and look at that. That is the goal. That is the visualization. That's where it starts. So once you have that, then you want to look at where you are now, write your current bio, and then your future bio. So where you are, where you're going, and then it goes into your mission statement. What is it about you that makes you unique? What drives you? What do you want to create? Why do you want to create it? And how does it help others? And that how it helps is key. And helping can be educating, entertaining, informing, or it can be something that makes other people's lives better.
I love that, Deb. And I think that the whole visualization, right? People create vision boards for the year and how and where they want to be by the end of the year. And, a great tip, and I believe it's actually Emmerich, the CEO of Agora Pulse, said you shouldn't have to wait for the new year to make a new you or to set new goals. Start anytime, any second, any moment is the perfect time to reinvent yourself, to set a new goal and set a new strategy and a path for yourself, for your brand, your company, whatever it is. But I love that visualization and putting it up there because I think when you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, it's kind of where it is the road path. Like you've figured it out. You figured the end spot, right? The destination. Now you got to figure out the journey to get there. And really quick, I got to give shout out to Tim, who is giving a bunch of shout outs to Amy, Deb, and Agorpol. So Tim, I am so glad you're here. So glad you're here. And we've got a great question from Justin Hornback. And I want to get to that really quick. Justin said, do you find that some people's what they want changes from their initial idea?
Yes.
Which is a great question.
Yes. But the answer is yes. What you want can change, but really that first step, that visualization, what you want is to run a Fortune 500 company, if what you want is to create your own business, if what you want, it's more about the life you want. The way it manifests itself is going to be different. And yes, that can change too. You can start off saying, I want to run my own business and I'm working for these people until I can go out on my own. But if you love the business where you're working, yes, your plan can change. But I think the intention is Goaltopia, joy, a happiness, and really loving your life. And no, you are not going to love your life all the time. Even I, the eternal optimist, knows this. And maybe your job's not so great, but what is stopping you from starting a side hustle or investing your time and energy into a hobby or family time or a home project, or to finding what that new life is? And I completely agree with Emmerich. Goal setting is year round. I started the new year in December because why wait for this arbitrary calendar year?
Which was fantastic, by the way. I love that you did that.
Thank you. So all you have to do is say, okay, today's the day. I'm choosing me and I'm making that path. And it's really funny this time of year. I had this conversation multiple times this week. Everybody's on the New Year's resolution, goal path January. Guess what? In February, I'm still going to be talking about it. March, April, May. There is always going to be a reason or not to change your life. It might just be you. The other thing I want to mention is, so my friend Jeff Pulver, who's my GoalTat Live guest next week, started Pulver EDU, which is people are doing passion-based classes, and I will be teaching my vision board Road to Goaltopia workshop on Mondays, and my mission and mottos workshop there as well. So I don't think I gave you the link, which is silly of me, but I will certainly share it afterwards. Or you can go to beholveredu.com. Lots of great classes. But like I said, I'm alternating my mission and motto and my vision board class because I just so want to be able to help more people get on the right path. And that starts with that groundwork. And I'm not even through with the D and the Deb method. There's just one more step.
And Deb, I love that. And Justin Hornback, if you saw the comment pop up, always be looking forward, always be trying to improve. Justin, this is so true. Because if you're not trying to improve, if you're not learning, and even failure is learning, right? So don't be scared of failure when you're coming up with goals. Focus on what you want and the steps that it'll take to get there, and you will get there. And even if for some reason there is the failure or mistake here or there, because I don't really like the word failure, you learn from that. And if you learn from that, that's a positive thing. So I love all of that. And Justin, thank you for that great question. And we've got Jeremy in the house. Jeremy, how are you? We hope you're doing amazing and you're doing great. Also, Eric Fisher just joined us as well. So Deb, let's talk about the second step in the Deb method. Once people
I have to back up.
Okay, yes, let's back up.
Because I missed one. Once you have your mission, then you can shorten it to a motto. So you've got your big mission statement, and then you want to dial it back, and that's going to be your compass. So my mission is to use my skills, background, experience, and systems to help as many people as possible figure out what they want and how to get it through my book, workshops, coaching, etc. That's a really long sentence. But my motto is goal setting simplified. So everything that I do for the purpose of helping people define, plan, and achieve their goals is under that umbrella of goal setting simplified. So you have your mission, like the details, but then simplify it. What is that motto? Because along with your goals that you want to keep in front of you, along with your visualization, is that motto. And it's going to help you because as you work toward your goals, you're going to get, I know this is a later question, you're going to get so many distractions. But if you know your purpose, you know your motto, it's going to help you filter out the things that you need from the things. And you can also do things that are fun, sure, but you want to stay on that path, and it's going to help you decide what your yeses are and what's your maybe no laters are.
I love that. The motto, I think the focus, that helps you really focus, right? Because I'm one of those people that I have so many grand ideas, right? I want to do this, I want to do that. And focus has been one of my biggest struggles. It honestly has. And so I love the motto because it simplifies it. It focuses it in. And I love how you said compass, because I'm also a geographer. So I love that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that, focusing, if you lose focus somehow or just go on a side path, look towards your motto. That will direct you to where you need to be. And Deb Mitchell is amazing because she is sharing your link for the Goaltopia Vision Board event. So Deb Mitchell, thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
yes. And for those of you just joining us, let us know, Jeremy, Eric, and anyone who didn't already, what is your number one goal for 2021? What do you want to achieve? Is there something you want to do? Maybe somewhere you want to travel, if that happens safely? Just anything. What do you want to do? Even if it's spending more time with family, even though we've already been so enclosed. But let us know what one of your big goals are, whether it's personal or career. Now, with that said, Deb, let's get to the second step. I'm so you've helped everyone get from this vision board, then focusing in on your goals, and then your motto, which is your compass, where you need to be. So what's next? How can we ensure that, okay, I know the goals, I have my motto set, but how am I going to get there?
Well, and that's what the E, explore your options, is. So you have your motto, you know what you want to create, but you're not quite sure yet how to manifest it. So that's where explore your options come in. You want to be a known expert, but what does that mean? Does it mean start a blog, start a podcast, write a book? You want a new job, but does that mean a new job or a new career? You want to build a business, but what kind of business? So explore your options. It starts with what I call directed journaling, and it's very simple. What you want to do is schedule 3, 4, 5, 15-minute appointments with yourself. And all you're going to do is brainstorm the answer to this question. What do I want? What is that goal? What do I want to create? And I know several questions, but if it's your mission is to be happy and productive at a job you love, the question is going to be, what does that look like for me? So you'll want to answer the way in which your mission and motto can manifest itself, and just in 15-minute brainstorms. And the trick, you want to do this a few times, but don't read any of your journal entries until after you've finished the exercise, because what's going to happen is you're going to come up with things that you didn't realize were of interest, and you're going to look at things like, I thought I wanted that, but I mentioned it once. I mentioned this 10 times. Well, you want to do the thing that you're most excited about. So it's really going to help you open up to the different opportunities and options out there for you to reach Goaltopia. And once you you go through, you read through it, maybe you pick 3, 4 different things that you want to really dive deep into, do some research, see who you know who knows things. Maybe you want to take a class. Reach out to your network. Networking is huge. Jeremy, who's in the chat, after the last Agorapulse event, he goes, "Oh my goodness, that's Deb who spoke. It's like she's the one who wrote the book that I love." So that just heartened me so much. That was my win for the week, because that's my goal to get to more people, but what you want to do is expand your network. So anybody who's watching, if we're not yet connected, please find me on LinkedIn, reach out, connect with me here. I also have a group for your goal guide for people working through the book, as well as Write On Online, which is my original goal setting community. So find me everywhere and connect with me, because when you have these questions, you have your people and they have the answers.
I love that, Deb. And I think the biggest thing is one of the best advice that I probably ever received was surround yourself with people that know more. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because then you're not learning anything. You want to surround yourself with people that know things that you don't. And actually, Brian Fanzo is one of the ones that said that. And I'm like, that's so true. Because, I feel like so many people are trying to achieve to be the smartest person in the room, but actually it's even smarter to not be the smartest person in the room and just continue learning. Surround yourself with people that know different things that you don't know, and you're going to gain that knowledge and be that much more smarter. And I love that too, because here at Agorapulse, we're here to support you. Yes, we're a social media management tool. We have so many other resources because we just want to see you succeed. We want to make your life easier, and we want to create a support system, which is why we have Social Pulse Community. And so, and really quick, I want to get to a couple of goals, because we asked everyone, what is your big goal of 2021? And Amy said hers. And I love this because Amy is probably one of the most positive, amazing people in the world. She actually won the trip that we gave away to Paris last year at Social Media Marketing World, and very well deserved too. She said, my goal for 2021 is to become well known for helping coaches make live streaming easy and fun while getting results. And I believe Amy is already well on her way to achieving this goal. And so, yes, you get a star. So Amy, I'm so excited for you. Follow Amy at Aram Amy on Twitter, and just Google her. You'll find amazing things from her. Justin Hornback said, challenge yourself or you'll get bored. So true. Very, very true. If you're not learning or doing something, what are you doing? And we've got from someone else, and make sure, because we are using StreamYard, so you have to give permission so we can see who is leaving these comments. But mine is world domination in the mobile video space. I love that. Whoever that is, give StreamYard access so we can figure out who you are, because I think that's awesome. That's so good. With that said, Deb,
that's great. But these goals, this is exactly what Explore Your Options is for. I want world domination. What does that mean? How are you going to accomplish it? So after you've gone through in some of these things, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, I'm going to do this, this, and then this, right? Yeah. Oh, Dave from Dave,
I love you so much. You are... Dave is so amazing. I just have to say, his gear is incredible. His green screen, if you are looking, I'm just going to say this really quick. If you're looking to improve your live streaming or live videos or just life in general, get his gear. Go to iographer.com and just see all the cool things he offers, even for family, like a working parent, a single parent, all the cool gear that you can put your phone in and your iPad in to take photos, let your kids watch video or whatever if you're like needing to work from home. Oh my gosh, Dave is awesome. But go ahead, Deb, because I know you had some more input on their goals.
It's just a perfect example. And the other thing I should mention, so Dave has been a guest on my live show, Goal Chat Live, as have you, Jen. We had a wonderful conversation about mindset. So if you go to thedebmethod.com/blog, you can also see the recaps and watch those videos. And so I wanted to shout it back, because as much fun as we're having now, that's how much fun I had chatting with awesome people like you and Dave. But it's really the perfect example of why you need to explore your options, because there's so many different ways you can look at it, and whether it's a complete 180 or total in alignment with what you're already doing, you can't achieve your goals alone. You need your people. Mm-hmm. Reach out, explore, decide, and then figure out the destination.
Yeah.
So that's where we go with E. So you start with, I want this, and you end the letter with, okay, it's going to look like this.
And so, I think I love that, because so many just are not sure of, they have the, we want to do this, we want to be this, but what does that look like to you? What does that mean to you? You got to feel it. And, and like we talked about on your chat back in November, envisioning it, mindset, all of that plays into this so well. So I love that, Deb. And last but not least, what is the last part of the Deb method? We want to know. We're all dying to know, Deb. Everyone better have their pieces of paper out and be brainstorming right now and figuring out their mottos and everything else. But Deb, what is the last part of it?
Well, it's brainstorm your path. So, and it's, again, goal setting simplified. Write out everything that you need to do to get to that destination. And I'm talking professional goals, personal goals, reach goals, easy goals. You want easy goals in there because you want to be able to be like, yes, I did this, and really celebrate yourself. But anything and everything you think you need to do to achieve your destination, to get there, to get to that particular Goaltopia destination, and then categorize it. So you do your monster list and then divide it into long-term and short, divide it into professional and personal goals. And let me address this real quick. You need both. Whether you are looking to fulfill your career, have a better career, professional life, you need personal goals, like to have healthier lifestyle, because if you feel better, you're going to be more productive and you're going to achieve those professional goals better. If you're happier at work, it's going to improve your personal life. So you really want to do both in tandem, because we're looking at the whole person. We're looking at giving you the life that you want, and you can't do that unless you're looking at both your personal and professional life. So brainstorm it out, separate them, and then categorize the different tasks. So what do you need to, and I use this example a lot because you need a website or a blog for just about anything that you're trying to accomplish. Even if you're looking for work and you want to be known as an expert in the thing that you're trying to get a job doing, you want to have some form of a home base. So you start with a website. So website is one of the short-term goals is going to help you get to that long-term goal, whatever that is. But within that, you have benchmarks you need to accomplish. So one category is your branding. What's your name, your colors, your logo? What are all the visual aspects of it? Then the technical aspects. Where are you going to host? What is your URL? What platform are you going to use? All that technical exploration. Once you do that, you've achieved that benchmark. And then the content. Are you going to do blog posts or video or whatever it is? So you've got 3 benchmarks you need to achieve in order to create that website. So that's just one way and then each action item leads to the benchmark, and all the benchmarks together help you accomplish those goals. So write everything out, separate it, combine them, make appointments with yourself. I'm sure we're going to talk about that more in a second, but just get everything out there so you can organize it, so you can build your plan.
I love that. And Lori said, yes, everyone needs a website. This is so true. I agree with that. Okay. So Deb, all right. So we've followed the Deb method, right? We've done the E, we've done the B, E and the B, the brainstorm, right? They all kind of blend in together. So
I have to add one more point.
Yes, do it.
Okay. So some of the personal goals aren't going to be project goals. They're going to be lifestyle goals. So rather than you're still going to brainstorm everything you need to do, but it's going to be less benchmarky. It's going to be more an hour a week I do this, 3 times a week I do that. So it's about making changes on a regular basis to achieve those lifestyle goals. But anything that's a project really falls into that long-term, short-term benchmark action items. And again, I feel like I have to say this because I'm going through it so fast. The first half of my book will take you through the Deb method so you can figure this out for yourself, and be sure also to join the Facebook group and tell me who you are and how I can help you.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Deb. And so thinking about, okay, so we've gone through the Deb method, right? And I have a question for you and for everyone else when it comes to productivity and making sure you self-check yourself. Are you accomplishing the goals and tasks you need to do on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis? How do you do it, Deb, for daily like goals? Do you, do it the night before and then recheck, okay, what did I accomplish? Do you time block? How do you make sure you organize and you get your goals accomplished on, or get steps to your goals accomplished on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis?
I'm going to answer. Deb Mitchell asked for the Facebook group. The Facebook group theme is Your Goal Guide. So it's facebook.com/group/your goal guide. Thank you for asking. And in answer to your question, pretty much all of the above is what I do. I also, and I should mention my Right On Facebook group. So my original everything was under Right On Online. I still have an active page and a very active group. And you're all obviously welcome to join that group /Right On Online. And that is, I have daily threads. So Monday is what are your networking goals for the week? Tuesday is what are your goals for the week? Wednesday is blog share day. Thursday is Toot Your Horn Thursday, Photo Friday. And they're all opportunities to meet like minds and connect. We were talking about before, you need more people, you need smart people, you need your community, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of everything. So these threads are designed not only for you to set goals and be accountable, but to meet other people. So back to the actual question you asked, which is how I keep everything together, is I start with a massive to-do list. So very much the same way I said, brainstorm your path. Usually I do it Sundays because I lead my goal chat, Twitter chat Sunday nights, and I will just write out everything I need to do for that week. And then I categorize it by clients, projects, book, outreach, workshops, whatever it is. And then I will also type it into a calendar appointment. So you have the main list on paper, but you also have an electronic version of it. Again, categorized. Then I will go into my week and I will set appointments for everything. So not just the appointments for work, but appointments for the things that I'm doing to achieve my goals, ongoing tasks. I have so many daily appointment reminders of things for myself just to make sure I'm not just doing client work. I am doing the things that are building me up for my ultimate goals. So it starts with the paper list, you write in the calendar, you put in the appointments, and then this is the other trick, is I never cross anything out. It's a check mark it's a check mark if it's on paper. I'm looking at, because I always have like 3 notebooks going. And then in the calendar event, I will write done in all caps. And that way I can do copy and then paste into the following week, delete all the dones, keep the ongoings, and add anything new. Yes, if it's not on my calendar, it is not happening. And what I was saying before about prioritizing yourself, make those appointments with yourself to figure things out and to work towards your goals, because you should be treating your goals with as much respect as you treat the work you do for anybody else. Treat your appointments with as much importance as you would with a boss or a client.
I love that, Deb. I love that. Make appointments with yourself. I think that's one of the things where people get lost, right? They're just like, oh no, I'm trying to do this and do that. I didn't make that happen, but they don't factor in time for themselves. And it's so important to do that. And even if you have kids and family and, mom guilt, parent guilt can be real, but it's okay. Because if you're not your best, self, if you're not taking care of yourself, then that's going to also factor into everything else as well. And so I have got another question for you, Deb, because I can't believe we're getting close to 45 minutes in, which is so amazing. And I love it. And so I have a couple different questions. First of all, what is your favorite productivity app? Do you use an app to keep you on target? There's the Pomodoro method, and I think I pronounced that correctly, which we just had a new blog post on as well. Or is it something else that you utilize to make sure, you're checked? Or is it just writing it down on your calendar and that's what you use?
Well, I use the Deb method, obviously.
Yes.
It's very, like I said before, I've been doing this for years, but I was doing all this as Write On Online for years. And most of the people that I work with are entrepreneurs who have some form of passion project. They want to write a book, they want to start a podcast, they want to launch a product, but they can't quite get it together because they're always doing a gazillion things. So some clients reach out to me because they have too many ideas and they need a plan, whereas others say, I want to make this happen, help me. So the people that I work with really run the gamut. But for years, before I realized it was the Pomodoro method, I would always say 15 minutes. Look at your life and put in those appointments. And Amy just said something that I want to address in a second, because I completely agree with, is look after you write out your goals and you look at your week, see how much time you have for you and set appointments that will work for you. Keep the appointments. Now this is one of my rules too. You look at your week, you say, okay, I can give 2 hours to myself. So I'm going to put in an appointment for Monday and an appointment for Thursday. And if you have to move the appointment, that's okay. You just can't delete them. But what you want to do when you're looking at your week is commit to the amount of time, put it in there. And my favorite app really is my calendar, my notebook, and I know there are plenty of great apps out there. And if they work for you, wonderful. I love my Word documents, my Google Docs, my Excel spreadsheets, and my calendar. I'm like, because it works. Simple works.
Do what works best for you. That's what I always say, because if you're looking for something and you're not seeing the productivity that you want, try those, factor in obviously the Deb method, but into those apps to help, keep, check and balances and make sure you're actually accomplishing what you need to do. But, if something works for you, just let it work for you. You don't need something, extra fancy or anything like that.
And there is one other really good reason for using a calendar and appointments is after you say, okay, I'm going to do these 2 appointments, and you do your 2 appointments, and then make a note. And everything I talk about, I do. I am a firm believer in my methods, because whenever I think I know better than myself, it doesn't work. So everything that I recommend are things that I do that work for me. But what you want, the other thing to do is after you have those appointments, write what you accomplished, even if it's a little note in there or something in the title. And then that way at the end of the week or the month, when you're like, oh my goodness, this is taking forever, you can look at your calendar and say, oh, but look, I did this, this, and this. I'm awesome. And it's going to help keep you motivated and help you keep going.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so much. And you know what? Sue Ann just said a great comment. She's doing a marketing plan right now, pretending it's for a client so it gets done properly. Think I'm tricking myself to make sure I do it and stay on track, which I love. Do what works best for you. Sue Ann, that's amazing. That's a great idea. I think that's
I said that when I was a guest on Agency Chat yesterday, and that I think was my first answer is you treat yourself like a client. Treat your goals as sacred. So yes.
And maintain that you're a priority. Okay, so this is a question. This is for you, Deb. Also, we have 2 neuro-linguistic programming certifications or certifiers. I'm not sure how to say it, Deb and Amy. You guys are certified practitioners for NLP. That's a better way of saying it. It's a tongue twister. So I'm asking Deb and Amy to share their expertise, as well as you, Deborah Eckerling. What do you guys do? Like, let's say you wake up in the morning and you're just not feeling it, or with what kind of things happened in the US this week, and you're just like not in the right mindset, or you're just like, you know what, that didn't happen the way I wanted it to, and you get disappointed. How do you stay motivated? How do you, if you get off track, get right back on track? What are your quick tips and tricks to just, some people are like, oh, the day's ruined, there's tomorrow, but no, it's not. You switch your mindset and you can make it a better day. But I would love to know from Amy, from Deb, and from also you, Deb, we've got two Debs in the house. What are your best tricks for maintaining that focus, that positivity, that motivation, even in the darkest of times, whether for you personally, something, bad happened, or you're just disappointed in something? How do you stay positive?
Well, as you know, positive is my default mode. And just because there's so much going on, we can control ourselves. And some days it's going to be, okay, I just can't. Now, for me, when I get frustrated, and this is like general frustration, not like massive impact from the world, frustrated. I usually, if I get frustrated, I give myself 2 minutes to be frustrated, and then I have to move on. And again, sometimes that's not realistic. Usually it is, but that's it. And it doesn't even happen that often, because I am very much into law of attraction. What you put out in the world comes back to you. And this is why I focus so much time on the D, the determine your mission, in the Deb method. If you have your visualization, if you have your motto, if you have your goals in a place where you look at them regularly, it should be enough, that hope for your own future, to keep you going. If it's a rough day and you have to be like, I just can't, that's okay. The next day you can get up and move forward. I have another rule. I call it the 5 of 7 rule, which is basically the code for, and there are a lot of people who say, no, you need to work on your goals every single day. Always keep things in motion. You should have it in your mind, but it's not realistic for most people to spend time every day on your goals. So the 5 of 7 rule really just gives you permission to take days off when you need it. Or like I said before, you look at your calendar, I could do 2 1-hour blocks, or I can do 4 15-minute blocks, whatever it is. But you keep those appointments and you do the things that you need to do. And if you have less time, it's going to take longer. But if you keep your eye on the prize, if you look at your goals, if you look at the future that you want, that should really be enough motivation to keep you moving. And if it isn't, join my group. Say, hey, Deb, I need a burst. And I'm going to say, you can do it, because you can't. And we talked about this when you were on my show, the Henry Ford quote, which I actually put into a live stream that I was watching this morning.
Awesome.
What you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right.
Yes. Yes. And that is like one of my favorite, most powerful quotes. And, being completely honest, one of the things that I struggle with is like, sometimes my friends are like, Jen, just take some time for yourself, like watch a TV show, relax. I'm like, I can't. I always have to be doing something. But you know what? I had to have some very minor surgery earlier last year. And I had to, go to the hospital or whatever. And my sister came and we watched movies all day on a Saturday. And I remember telling my significant other, I'm like, why did it have to take for me to have minor surgery to actually slow down and take a minute? But I felt so revived after that, though. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to do this more often. Why am I like so high strung? Like you got to take breaks and you got to do that. And so I love that you said that, mentioned a few of those things about that, because that's so important. And we've got input from our practicing NLP practitioners. Deb Mitchell says, I always try to find something good happening or someone I can support to do a good thing, which I love. We've got Amy saying, always be at cause. What can you do right now to move yourself forward, take action? I love the Frozen 2 quote, because my daughter loves Frozen. If you're not sure what to do the next best thing. take those baby steps and do it. So yes, I love that. And let's see. And Sue Ann, yes, they got trained by Stephanie Liu. So she's amazing. You'll have to search, and I'm sure Amy or Deb can drop a link in for the NLP training site. So Amy, again, the speed at which you can move yourself out of a funk will determine the speed at which you will reach your goals. Ooh, Amy, that's a good quote. If you haven't made a quote card for yourself regarding that, you need to do that right now. I'm making sure that you do that in Canva. Absolutely. Talk to yourself in a positive way, have gratitude for what is good, and you will continue to see things in a more positive manner. So true. And one last from Amy, because she's brilliant. Knowing when to stop and take time for yourself is also a form of action. Ooh, I love that. See the NLP training. And so I love, Amy, that's so true. And I think that's something that everyone kind of struggles with. You don't want to wear yourself thin. Taking action is taking care of yourself, taking a moment for yourself and doing something you love, even if it isn't in the, reaching a goal. It's a step toward that. It's okay to do that. And it's so important to do that. So I love all those. And I want to get to some social media news. We have trivia, but really quick, Deb, I love this question. This question came back a couple live shows ago from Tristan in the UK, and he asked this question to one of our guests, and I was like, I'm going to ask that question every single time now.
Great.
So
I'm ready.
Yes, what is the best? And everyone, I would love for your input on this as well. Any of you watching, what is the best advice that you were given, Deb, that you never took and you wish you had done? What is the best advice that you were given and never took?
Okay, I'm going to change your question because honestly, and I'm very fortunate. My mom's an artist who always raised me with, you do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
The best advice that I wish I could give myself is to be patient. Things happen not in your time. They happen in the time with which they're meant to happen. And it's for me, who wants to help people so much, being patient to get my message out to more people has been such a challenge. But I just think that, so I guess that is the lesson, to be patient. Because I'll call it back to what I said at the beginning of the show. If I think of everything that had to happen for my book to be released 2 months before the world went into ISO, it's just amazing. Because I wrote my book because I believe everybody deserves to be happy in some, if not all, of their life. And if you're not happy, or there's something that's snagging you, you need to look at you and see what you can change. So the intention for the book was to help people embrace change, whether it's by choice or circumstance. Once everybody had circumstance, we all need to look back, and not every day is going to be a winner, but you can have parts of every day be a winner, and just move forward and realize if it's your destiny, if you work towards it, have patience, you will get there.
I love that. That is just amazing. Like, just a way to tie it into a ribbon and a nice bow. Like, package it all up, Deb, because this has been an epic conversation. And I hope you saw the comment that Lori said that, thanks, Deb, I needed to hear this today. And I think, you've inspired so many people, whether they are mentioning it right now or not. Amy also says, love that, which is so true. Amy, I'm so glad that you joined us today. Because it is like, you never know what's going to inspire you, or what moment you realize, wow, I really did need to hear this today. And I mean, it's the first full week of a new year, and we're still dealing with a lot of things right now. And so it's easy to get bogged down, even just by watching the news. So I love that.
Watch the news. Watch it for like 5 minutes and then move on. In what you were talking about with self-care, that's exactly why I think personal goals are so important. Yes. Give yourself a start time to your day and a stop time to your day. Give yourself time off on the weekends. Do not let everything mush together.
You know what? I think that's a hard thing. I struggle with that. I struggle so hard with that. And Brian's always being like, Jen, take it easy. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. So yeah, I love that. That is such good advice. So really quick, guys, I want to, and Deb, you've probably heard of this news. I'm actually going to pull myself individually on screen. We're going to talk about news for about 5 minutes. And then Deb, you and I get to geek out on some goal trivia. And you guys, we're going to be giving away an Agora Pulse mug or a shirt, your choice if you win. And we're going to see whoever gets both of these right. And if it's a tiebreaker, we'll have a tiebreaker. But before we get to that, I want to geek out on some news. And so let's get to it. So I think for those of you that haven't seen this is probably the biggest news of the week so far. Facebook basically announcing their page redesign. Now, I mentioned this last summer. So this isn't kind of new news, but it's now actually finally being released. So Facebook says, first of all, they're getting rid of likes for pages. They now say that followers of a page will be the metric at the forefront of the new experience, as it's a better indication of how many people are fans who are receiving updates from the page. This is straight from Facebook, Facebook's newsroom. Another change that they're making to their pages is that the pages get their own news feed, which I think this is really cool and intriguing. That means that the page itself can participate in conversations as the public figure or the brand, follow trends, and interact with their fans. This dedicated newsfeed will also suggest other public figures, pages, groups, and trending content for the page or the public figure to interact with as well. And there's a little bit more to this, but that's the biggest thing. So we've got no likes. The biggest metric is going to be followers now. Your pages will get their own news feed. And along with that, Facebook is also introducing a new Q&A that allows pages to better engage with fans. Followers can ask the page questions about a topic, and when the page answers, those become a stack of questions that people can swipe through to learn more, which I think is really, really cool, especially with the Deb method, right? And anybody that runs a business, their own business, or working for a brand. Now, this could be particularly useful for businesses who want to answer common questions in a fun way for fans to get to know a creator they like, among other things. So I think that is huge. If you're a fan of the no likes when it comes to Facebook and you're really excited for this news, let me know. Give me a thumbs up because I want to know, because it's very interesting and it's very intriguing. And so, yes, if you're a fan of that and all these new changes, let us know. Justin Hornback says, less confusing for sure. Yes, I hope so too, at least. I think this could be big things for brands and for pages. And Amy, oh my God, I love you too. I think you're amazing. Lori says, me too, clients rely too much on likes, how many they are getting, all that. Yes, I agree. And the focus really shouldn't be on that at all. So very true. I love you guys. And one more news bit that we're going to talk about really quick is the Facebook engagement alerts. So this was newly released for group admins. So if you're managing a group like Deb, you're managing a group, we have a group, Social Pulse community. Many of us have groups. It's a great way to grow a community, create fans, super fans, all those amazing things. So Facebook has now expanded their engagement alerts for groups and adds new options. So after launching an initial test of its engagements alerts for groups back last year, back in the spring, I believe, Facebook is now expanding the option to more group admins while also adding some new elements to help group managers stay on top of these relevant and engaging discussions. So now these alerts allow admins to know when posts or comments are getting a big response. And that's kind of a big thing, right? When it comes to managing a group, you don't know, like you're trying to check as much as possible, but sometimes a conversation is going to blow up and, you want to make sure you're alerted to it right away. This is what these help you do, help you manage your group better, and alerts and comments. And whether if it's a good thing, you continue to, put more information out there to fuel that conversation, or if it's a bad thing, you're able to put the fire out and control it a little bit more. But this helps those at group admins with this. Also, it can help with the big response. Also, different options for staying on top of rising group discussions, including alerts by reaction type, comments, and replies. So you can kind of granularly figure out what alerts you want, whether it's reaction type, those comments, or replies. And there's some new additional options that Facebook is adding to this for setting the parameters of your alerts to make them even better. So this is something that's continuing to roll out. So you may have noticed it for group admins, you maybe haven't, but this will continue to roll out over the next coming months. So that is the big news that we've had so far this week. There's also been some other news that we've had earlier, or actually at the end of last year, I should say. But so those are the top news, so which I wanted to share with everyone. So I'm so excited for that. Now we are getting to the trivia. Deb, are you ready? I'm going to pull you up really quick. Deb, are you ready for trivia?
I am always ready.
So this is focused on goal setting, right? So for those of you who are new to trivia, make sure when you answer the trivia question, you do 1-A, B, C, or D, and then you answer the second question 2-A, B, C, or D. So I'm going to pop up the first question. So, and this is for winning a t-shirt or a mug, your choice. Now you have to get both of these questions correct. If there's multiple people that do that, then we'll figure out a tiebreaker on the back end and we will alert the winner. So first question, according to Harvard Business Study, 14% who have goals are how many more times successful than those without goals? So according to a Harvard Business Study, Deb, you can give a hint to this. I'm not sure if you actually know this question. 14% who have goals are how many times more successful than those without goals? This is all about goal setting. Are they 3 times more successful, 5 times more successful, 7 times more successful, or 10 times more successful? I want to see your answers. Amy says D. She thinks that people who set goals, the 14% who have goals, which 14% isn't a lot of the people surveyed, which is kind of sad. So if you have goals already, you're right in the mix. You're where you should be. They are either 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, or 10 times more successful. Justin Hornback says C, 7 times. What are you thinking, Deb?
What I'm thinking is, and I have to tell this story. Years ago, a friend of mine said that at the beginning of the year, she writes her goals and puts them in a drawer. And at the end of the year, she opens the drawer and is pleasantly surprised to see if she accomplished anything. And after I picked my jaw up, I said, do me a favor, try this experiment. What would happen if you actually looked at your goals? And wouldn't you know, she had a much more successful year because she knew what she was working towards. That's why all these elements, keeping your eye on the prize, are so important. You can't get what you want unless you know what you want. And if you can see it, if you have that constant reminder, you're just so much more likely to get where you want to go.
I love that, Deb. I love that story. And that's, yeah, the surprise at the end of the year. No, you want to be like, you know what? I accomplished these tasks. I'm throwing a party for myself because that's awesome and I deserve it. So yes. We've got Lori who said 1D. For others, let us know. We're going to move to the next question. And this is another goal-based question. So according to the same Harvard Business Study, the 3% with written goals are how many times more successful than the 14% with unwritten goals? So now we're comparing people who actually write their goals. So of the 14% surveyed, only 3% of that group actually wrote their goals down. So if you have goals written down on a piece of paper, guys, you are like above 90%, 97%. You're doing great. But for those people that wrote their goals down, how many times more successful were they than people who didn't write their goals down? Were they 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, 10 times? Basically the same exact answers, but it's actually a different answer to this. So Justin said D, 10 times. Sue Ann says D. Amy says B, 5 times. Oh my gosh, we have Barbara who watched me at WHNT. Oh, I love you. So I used to do the weather at WHNT, a news station in Huntsville, Alabama. Barbara, I love that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. You can see fun things that I do on some of the Weather Channel series, so I'll have to message you after the fact. But thank you for joining us. Lori says 2B, 5 times. Deb, what are you thinking for this?
Well, and I really wish I had done my homework because I don't really know, but I am again aghast. This is in so much of my system is based on writing and brainstorming because there's just something that happens when you look at what you're trying to accomplish. It's just so powerful. And I say this, this is what you asked me at the beginning. What stops people from achieving their goals? They don't know what they want, and they're not looking at them on a regular basis. So I don't know what the answer is, but if you're one of those people who doesn't write down your goals and accomplishes them, good for you. I don't know who you are. Write them down, look at them, and put them in like multiple places around your house. You know, if you're a chef, put it on your fridge. If you're an exercise instructor, put it on your I usually say yoga instructor, put it in your yoga mat. Put it in the place that is so meaningful to you, and then you'll see it and you'll be like, yeah, I'm working on that. I'm doing really well. It's another thing that's going to help motivate you to keep moving forward.
I love that, Deb. And I think what I'm going to do is actually create a vision board for this year for myself and place it where I do most of my work. Kind of like I've kind of got a big great room, I guess you could say. So put it there where I will see it and walk by it multiple times a day to keep me focused. But I love that. And everyone, thank you so much for commenting. I'm so excited everyone were to join us because this has been absolutely amazing. So Deb, we already heard it, but let us know again, how can we find you, follow you, work with you, hire you, all those amazing good things?
Well, you can find me at thedebmethod.com. If you go to the blog, you can see the recaps. You can go to yourgoalguidebook.com to get your copy of your goal guide. And then be sure to join the Facebook group as well. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook. I have like I said before, I lead workshops and I do one-on-one coaching. So just click the coaching on my website to learn more and reach out. I would love to work with you. I love nothing more than helping people live the life that they want. So if I can help you, please reach out. And and I've got classes coming up. So sign up for the newsletter, reach out to me, be in touch, make me part of your network so I can help you succeed.
I love that. Deb, thank you so much. You guys give a round of applause, a virtual round of applause, a clap in the comments for Deb. Thank you for giving us more than an hour now of your time. We greatly appreciate it. A big shout out to our show sponsor, Amy Aram. You need to follow her as well if you're not on all the social channels. And also Deb Mitchell, our community manager, and all of you for joining us, for writing your goals down. And if you weren't able to actually write them down during this session, take some time, schedule some time, make yourself a priority. That's the most important thing because I always like to do, what is it? The rocking chair test. And I forget what, the name, I can't even think of the name, where like it comes to worrying, right? Is this going to matter like at the end of your life when you're in a rocking chair? Like you want to, near that end when you're like 80, be like, you know what? I'm proud of what I did. I accomplished it. You don't want to have regrets. So just keep living the life you want. And we're going to kick off the new year strong and continue to do it. If you need us for any reason, or Agora Pulse, please let us know. We're here to support you with anything that we can. And a really quick shout out, we also have a 28-day free trial as well. But with that said, thank you so much for joining us and Happy New Year. Bye,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye, everyone.